What's up, everybody? My name is Heath, and this is Trade Talk. Thank you so much for clicking on the thumbnail. In tonight's video, we're going to discuss Wyckoff and what the pattern is that everybody is worried about right now. Is this pattern calling the top in Bitcoin? We're going to discuss that right now. So if you are new to the channel, welcome. If you are not, welcome back. So first and foremost, it's important to understand, why does Wyckoff work? So this is the Wyckoff pattern that I'm talking about. It's also been known as three drives top or the three drive reversal, and there's other names associated with the same exact pattern, because in trading everything works, just not all the time. And also everything always does the same things, as the charts are fractal. So knowing all of that, we can then basically say that this is what this guy saw, and he decided to put a name on it, and then it's called Wyckoff. But it's basically the same thing as the three drives pattern. Now, how does it work? Or I should say, why does it work? First of all, let's go look at Bitcoin. Now, this is a daily chart, as I have no clue what time frame this line chart is on. I'm just going to assume it's a daily time frame. All right, it's almost like a head and shoulders pattern or any other top reversal pattern in the market. All right, so let's go on. Let's move on. I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on inside of the Wyckoff model that makes it work the way that it works. All right, so essentially, this is important to understand. When Bitcoin made this all-time high at, I'm just going to say roughly $41,000, it had a nice couple week pullback, a nice slow consolidation, found a bottom, and then made a new all-time high on a big breakout candle. And when that candle broke out, it had a small consolidation period and another move to the upside to create a new all-time high. And it was also a measured move, right? So this is also another thing that is important to understand when new all-time highs happen. So once this consolidation took place, you essentially have a measured move from this low down here to this high, and then from this low down here to this high. That is your leg to the upside consolidation, leg to the upside, or impulse correction impulse. All right, that is your real move to the upside. Since this all-time high was put in, you can clearly see that you had an impulse leg to the upside. However, when you made your new all-time high, yes, it was a nice strong daily close, but you can immediately see that you retraced that move and fell back into the old range. Okay, so you didn't have that consolidation for a little while and then another impulse leg to the upside, creating a new measured move on this price leg. All right, so this is a three drives failure pattern, or the Wyckoff accumulation distribution. This is considered distribution. It's important to understand that as well. Accumulation happens at the bottom of ranges, as that is where institutions and retail are accumulating shares, or in this case, Bitcoins. All right, and then at the top during a Wyckoff distribution pattern, that is essentially where institutions are exiting their positions, and then you have, big sell-offs from the all-time highs, and they are no longer accumulating the pullbacks to further help the price to move to the upside. All right, so you didn't have that measured move on this move. All right, so basically you had a consolidation, pulled right into support, and then you moved higher and made a new high. However, you are doing the same thing. Instead of making a nice symmetrical measured move outside of the breakout, you're just basically consolidating, making smaller highs, right? Your highs aren't big, nice measured move highs. They're basically just not really important new all-time highs with big consolidations following them. And in this circumstance, it seems like we are having a bigger consolidation or pullback in price once this high was put in. All right, so I'm going to go back over to the Wyckoff model, and basically you can see that same thing. You have basically, once you took out this all-time high, nice impulse to the upside and made a new strong all-time high consolidation, your second wave up or your second leg up push, insignificant new all-time high. It's insignificant, meaning because once you made the all-time high, instead of having a small consolidation and then a measured move to the upside, you essentially pulled back into your old price range. All right. And then the same thing happened on the third drive, hence 3 drive reversal pattern, right? Third drive up, made another small, insignificant new all-time high, and immediately you drop back in. And you can see on Wyckoff's pattern here, on that third drive, generally the sell-off is more vicious with smaller retracements and bigger legs to the downside, with a measured move, I might add, to the downside. It's also very important that you understand that this was during he built this strategy studying the stock market, the equities, all right? Not Forex. This model doesn't apply to Forex. This model only applies to stocks as it's about supply and demand, right? Supply and demand. Most markets are about supply and demand, and I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm just basically trying to say that shares are an actual asset that you purchase, and you can hold those shares for whatever reason. So if there's a lot of shares in the market being sold back into the market, then obviously that creates a down move in price. So let's get back to the chart and let me try to make sense of this. And I don't know if I am, and I'm apologizing in advance if I am not. So how does this pattern work, or why does this pattern work? Okay, so once you get a nice, big, strong all-time high move from your previous all-time high with a nice, awesome measured move to the upside, and then you start creating this 3-drive pattern, right? It's an insignificant high. Once you take out your old all-time high, it becomes insignificant, meaning it falls right back down into the range. What is happening here? So what is happening is basically institutions, and I'm talking about banks, hedge funds, anybody who is controlling billions of dollars in assets, billions of dollars. They are exiting their positions up here. But instead of exiting their full position, or let's say they have $100 billion under management with this asset. Instead of exiting their full $100 billion at this high, they simply exit roughly a third of their position, which creates a big, strong move to the downside, but then they stop selling. All right, they stop selling. Why do they stop selling? They want retail to pick the market back up. So they stop selling, right? People will start to rebuy again because they see that the market held support. It wasn't a vicious sell-off. So this is probably just a pullback time to buy, get long again, and then boom. The retail investors are able to prop the market up, even if it is just for a very short while. Next, you have a new all-time high, and then boom, the institutions hit it again on the third move up, or your third new all-time high, but it kind of insignificant all-time high. That's when they unleash and get rid of their full positions. And this is every investment firm across the board. Not everyone, but the majority of the institutions are absolutely exiting their positions, and that is what causes a Wyckoff distribution phase, meaning they are distributing their Bitcoins to willing buyers, right? They're selling their position to willing buyers at a higher price, so they're making more money each time they exit their positions, and retail props the market up until finally there is no more support under the market, as retail doesn't have enough money to keep this asset going higher, and the institutions eventually get rid of all of their Bitcoins or all of their supply to get rid of the final position. And once there is no more support under the market, then it falls off like a rock, essentially, like an elevator, just falling straight down. Everybody thinks that it is the end of the market, end of the world. It's over. And for some people, it probably is, especially the people that are buying over leveraged longs up here at highs. If you notice, if you've been a follower of this channel, I have been telling you, do not buy leveraged positions up at these prices because you're trading at all-time highs. You are trading in a possibility of exhaustion risk. Exhaustion risks means that there is no more support under the market. The investors, the institutions, the huge people that have big money are no longer supporting the dips, and the market falls off like a rock. Now, once you have that picture painted inside of your head, it is important for me to say this. Bitcoin is a new asset. Nobody has ever seen the likes of this asset. Nobody knows what price is going to do. Is this a three drives pattern? Are we in for a massive pullback? Yeah, it's absolutely possible, guys. But am I worried about it? No, because I buy every red week anyway. So this just gives me an opportunity to pick up more Bitcoin at cheaper prices. And let me explain something to you. I bought Bitcoin last March around $9,000 and I bought some around $3,000. The fact that Bitcoin is trading at right now $52,000, it's a little bit expensive. All right, just a little bit. We need a pullback in this thing. All right, so here we go. Here's the monthly chart on Bitcoin. I'm going to take you back. We're here. Let's go look at the BLX as I have this pretty much outlined. It's not as pretty as Brandon's chart, but I just did this on the fly, basically to show people what is Jordan talking about in the bull market cycle, the bull market phase. Why is he not worried? Why is this just a pullback? Basically, this was your first all-time high, right, in Bitcoin. This is when it first happened. You had approximately 153 days once you put in an all-time high to find a low of the market, all right? And then once you found that low of the market, you had approximately 458 days until that market found a new high. Once you had that new high, boom, you had a big explosion move to the upside. So basically, this is going to get redundant if I just keep repeating the same process. You can see what I'm talking about here. This market cycle takes time. Here is your last market cycle right here when price pushed up. Well, let's just go on to where we currently are. Basically, this took a lot of time, right? 426 days from this all-time high to the low, and then from the low to the new all-time high breach, 731 days. Once we took out the $20,000, once we made $20,000 highs right here, right? Same scenario almost, 365 days it took to find the market cycle low. Once the market cycle low was put in, it took 701 days. It's funny, this market cycle took 731 days before it broke out to all-time highs. The last market cycle we had took 701 days before we broke out the all-time highs. All right. Once you broke out and made new all-time highs on your last market cycle, 334 days it took to find a high. We are halfway into that point, 151 days. It took 334 days on this market cycle to find a new all-time high before you went into your bear market cycle to find a new low. And it's also uncanny that every time this has happened, Bitcoin has found a new low either right above or just under the old all-time high. So when Jordan says, yeah, I think that this market cycle, once it's finally run its course and we have the bear market cycle, it's possible that Bitcoin finds a high or a low in this market cycle anywhere from $50,000 to your old all-time high, which was $20,000. But being that Bitcoin has been doing this in its entire history means that, yeah, he's looking at this to carry on. Also, one last thing before I get this rant over with, all right? Last time during the run up to $19,000, it's important to understand something. Bitcoin only had one red month in its entirety. All right. This is your bullish market phase in this new market cycle that took 334 days to complete before it found a new market top. All right. In that time frame, once you broke out above your old all-time high, this green line delineates your old all-time high. It had 1, 2, 3, 4 green months before you had a red monthly close. And then what happened after that red monthly close? You had 3 big, huge months of price action to the upside. Heath, are you meaning that once we have this red monthly close, price is going to be bullish for the next 3 months? I have no clue. I can't predict the future. I'm just showing you what happened in the past. All right? This is why people like Michael Saylor and people like Elon Musk have inserted a lot of their funds into Bitcoin as they are looking at charts like this. They believe that Bitcoin's going to be trading much, much higher. And when I say much, much higher, I don't mean next week. I mean 10 to 15 years down the road. They honestly believe that Bitcoin is going to be in astronomical figures. And that is why they put so much of their balance sheet on Bitcoin. Right? So much of their cash reserves. They put their cash reserves in Bitcoin, and they're not looking to sell anytime soon. They're investors long term. All right. So is this month going to close red? Yeah, I believe it is. There's 8 days left on this monthly candle. If this monthly candle closes red, we are in great shape. When will I be concerned? Well, if this monthly candle takes out the low of last month, I might be a little bit concerned, but I will absolutely buy more Bitcoin also. But I am not buying it leveraged up to 100x. I'm not buying Bitcoin with any leverage. I'm buying Bitcoin with straight up cash money. And I suggest you do the same. Don't try to get rich on this market cycle. Just think every single market cycle Bitcoin has had since its inception has only been making higher highs and higher lows. This chart proves it. So I hope this helped, guys. Yes, I'm looking for this monthly to close red and then possibly looking for another few green months afterwards. And then, yeah, in about 150 days or so, I will be calling a market top as well as many other people. If price keeps continuing low, as I am a price action trader, I absolutely will exit a lot of my Bitcoin and look to reaccumulate at lower prices as I do follow price. But I can promise you on my investment that I hold in Bitcoin, I am not looking at anything less than a weekly chart, and I suggest you do the same. So thank you guys so much for your attention. I understand that this is more of a rant than anything else, but I just want you guys to understand that don't worry about it. If you are over leveraged and you are buying highs, then yes, you should worry about it. If you are like me and you've been buying red weeks, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? This is simple. People make it a lot harder than it has to be. And for those people, I hope they truly learn from this round or this impulse to the upside. I believe Bitcoin is just halfway through its current market cycle peak. We will see if I'm right or wrong in the future, but until that happens, and before that happens, I would like to thank my channel members and Patreons, as you guys are so freaking awesome. I love you so much. You guys are the reason why I continue to do this stuff, and I will always continue to do this stuff. So make sure that you trade safe, trade smart, and happy trading, everybody.